Janelle and I have been living in this RV together for a while. It's been less than a picnic. So it's like, oh, we're just going to ignore the problems in the relationship. Carpet.
Okay, but that's what you did with my mom, and you're complaining about her being a problem all of a sudden, but now that you're complaining that it's happening with Janelle, there's a lot of double standards.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. Kody Brown is getting called out again by his daughter Gwendolyn, this time being called cowardly, having double standards, and discussing his misogyny. So Gwendlyn Brown has been going on her YouTube channel, and she uploads her videos onto her Patreon, and then a couple days later she posts them to her YouTube channel. She did mention in one of her most recent videos that when she's not reacting to these videos or the seasons, her plan is to be doing more like vlogs and uploading more content that way. Something I think is super interesting is that Gwendolyn has found a way to monetize her content both on YouTube and through Patreon, where she is not having to sell the multi-level marketing stuff. She's not shilling Plexus or LuLaRoe, and she doesn't really agree with her family doing that. She's told people not to really get involved with it because if they don't have a platform, they're not going to be successful. And because she's not super into the MLMs, I'm just glad to see that she's found a way to monetize her videos and so that she can make an income without having to sell products that are like either not effective, unsubstantiated, or the clothing rips. Anyways, she's watching the season 17. This is episode 12, and this is the episode basically where Kody goes over to Janelle's house, and they talk about her building the casita. Christine leaves Flagstaff for good. This is the episode where they argue about Christine and the snowblower with packing. And it's also the episode where Janelle and Kody argue about her buying Christine's house. Something I've noticed about Gwendolyn is that the way that she views things is very much, I think, like her mother, where she kind of sees things in rose-colored glasses. And I think sometimes she misses cues with people when they talk about certain things. Like Janelle in one part of the episode was complaining about the bureaucracy that she lives under. And in Gwendolyn's perspective, she didn't necessarily see that as a bad thing. And she didn't seem to catch that it was annoying to Janelle. I don't know if it's that sometimes when she's watching these, she's just sort of distracted, or if she just doesn't notice those nuances. Either way, there's at times where she seems, and she even admitted in this video that she wasn't making coherent thoughts. So maybe it's just that, you know, I have attention span issues, y'all. I know what it's like. And if you had to watch me actually watch an episode, I would be a hot mess. She was talking about how Kody seems to have double standards, and when she was talking about the double standards, I wasn't quite clear about what those double standards were. And then she also called Kody a coward because he didn't let Christine know how he was feeling and just sort of strung her along, and that's just not what someone should do. Like, why would you keep someone strung along, right? So, and she kind of goes in on him about having a harem or having, you know, a number of women. She's not shy about how she does not agree with polygamy. And she credits her mom, Christine, for making her no longer like Joseph Smith. And she said Christine calls Joseph Smith a creep. So let's talk a little bit about this latest reaction from Gwendolyn. I will say that I appreciate Gwendolyn's reactions a whole hell of a lot better than some of the other family members. I think she's a lot more honest, and I also think that she's got a perspective that a lot of people can relate to. And I also just like the fact that she is recently diagnosed with autism, and she is learning a lot about herself. And I think knowing that in this world, she has said on her Patreon and on her channel that, you know, mental health and mental illness and neurodiversity isn't well understood or really taken care of in the fundamentalist groups that she was a part of. And so for her growing up, she always felt like she sort of was the odd person out, and getting diagnosed with autism helped her better understand herself. So it's really neat for me. Obviously, my son is on the spectrum, and I will always support someone on the spectrum doing what they can do to support themselves and using and advocating for themselves. So she's been pretty brave, knowing that this culture doesn't really speak too kindly to people with disabilities. And the fact that she's open about it is wonderful. Gwendolyn has come a long way. Let's dive into this video. Before we do, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed. Clicking on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell so you can never miss a video, and you'll know when my new content loads. And if you have something to say, leave a comment and share this video with your friends. I'm so close to 330,000 subscribers. If you could help me get there by the end of the week, that would be amazing. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. Okay, so this episode was really, for a lot of viewers, I think very frustrating to watch because we saw Kody's manipulational tactics in action. But it was also just like eye-opening for how he was mistreating some of the wives compared to others. And Gwendolyn's reaction was the most sort of her response to Kody demanding respect and talking about what respect means in regards to Janelle is pretty on point. And I found her to be incredibly astute. Check it out.
I'm not going to break my back to work for you when you don't respect me. I'm just not.
Janelle could break her back to get the project done herself. She's slay like that.
Men don't feel love from women who don't respect them.
I don't know what his definition of respect is, but the way Janelle acts around him seems very respectful to me.
If you don't respect me, don't bother with the love.
I think we should change around. If you don't want me to control every aspect of your life, don't bother with the love. I feel like that's what he really means. Because respect is different, and the way he defines respect is not like a universal definition at all. And the thing is, yeah, a lot of us don't respect him. He's right. But respect is earned. It's not given. It's not a gift.
What I really appreciated about what she said there is that his idea of what respect is not actually what the word means. And I liked that she said that Janelle acts very respectfully to him. She's cognizant and she's like considerate of what his thoughts and feelings will be. She checks in with him. She tries to like have conversations with him about her next steps and what's going on in her life. But what Gwendolyn, I thought, was astute with and was accurate about is that in Kody's world, respect isn't about treating someone with kindness and, you know, being thoughtful. It's about control. And so he thinks that if you allow me to control your life, that's a sign of respect. And that's not what a respect is. Respect is not about authoritarian dictatorships where the man has all the control. Though in the culture that he grew up in, it teaches men that a woman must respect, obey, submit, and listen to her husband regardless if she doesn't agree. It's like his word or it's his way or the highway. And I liked that she also said that she doesn't respect her dad, and most of the family doesn't, because his idea of respect is skewed, and it's not something that's a gift. You have to earn it, and that's 100% accurate.
All right.
Don't hurt the snowblower, please. Oh my God.
Yeah, she doesn't want to listen to actually good advice, so I'm just going to cram it all in here. She's proving that she's the independent woman now.
You're just being so grumpy.
It bothered me to the core.
Grumpy.
I would start packing boxes around me.
Oh no, she has an opinion. How dare she? What's she supposed to do if she's not independent?
And frankly, that's one of my favorite qualities about myself, that I can do things on my own.
He has 3 other wives. What's she supposed to do? Just like sit there in the corner and braid her hair?
Gwendolyn has been super honest on her YouTube channel that she is the one that actually had more problems with Kody than her mom. And it was really her and her siblings kind of like pushing Christine about the way that he treated her, about how he treated the other kids, and that it was her that really set, you know, it wasn't Christine poisoning her mind and making her turn against her dad. She already didn't like Kody. She often refers to him as Kody and not her dad. And again, I like that she's pointing out something that is, again, very common in this culture where like a woman is not allowed to have an opinion. And so Kody misusing his vocabulary is saying that Christine is being independent because she has an opinion. Like literally imagine living in a world where having an opinion gets you told that you are a bad woman or a misindependent woman. I was actually listening to some of their youth conference stuff with the AUB, listening to how they tell girls that it's like lies from this culture that say that a woman needs to be independent. And they groom these little girls to believe that they're not supposed to have opinions, that they're supposed to obey and submit and always be happy. And it starts at a very young age. And so for Christine to actually have an opinion is a big step. And Kody hates it because he's been told forever that she needs to submit. I just like to see someone actually calling him out on that.
I'm struggling so much with this divorce. It's probably poisoning my relationship a little bit. I haven't figured out what I am when we're not this family. This is the end of an era for our family, and she's gone. She's done. She's called me a lot of things since this has happened, and I think she called me a coward once, and I kind of went, yeah, I've been a little cowardly. Maybe I should have actually told her that I didn't like her. But what I didn't do was I didn't quit.
Wow. Love you. Bye-bye. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. Didn't quit. I think it's more cowardly to be in a relationship than it is where you don't love somebody than it is to leave. Instead of experiencing heartbreak, I'm just gonna keep all my bitches around.
So Christine has said on the show that she thinks that it's cowardly of Kody to have strung her along and made her feel like there was all these options and that this relationship had possibilities when the truth was that there was no future. And watching Gwendolyn's mouth sort of drop when he says, like, I should have just told her that I wasn't in love with her, or I should have told her that I didn't want to be married to her, and her mouth just sort of drops. And then she makes the comment, like, he just wanted to keep his B's around, like the BITCHs around, because it's easier for him to have them around than to actually deal with the heartbreak, which she said is cowardly, which is true. Kody wanted his cake and he wanted to eat it too. He wanted the benefits of having all of these women around at his beck and call and access to their income and their livelihoods and their kids. And at the end of the day, he couldn't do what was needed or required of him to be a good father to any of his kids, really, outside of Robin's, and to be a good husband. And this culture isn't about being a good husband because the women are like a number. And so to him, these wives really aren't anything more than a object. And he's been taught through this cult that he can treat the women no matter how badly he wants to, and they're supposed to just deal with it. So the sad thing is that women are, told you need to submit, obey, keep sweet. Men are told you are the authority, you're the priesthood, it's your way or the highway. And they're also told they need to have all these wives to get into heaven. It's just such an unfair and it's such a sad dynamic. I just recently started reading a book by Rebecca Kimball, who grew up. Her mother is the sister of Rulon Allred, and just hearing from her perspective how awful Rulon was to people that were not favored to him, how little time he had for his family, for his kids, for his wives, how he called his wives girls, how his wives were children when he married them, and her saying that like these men really liked children, they wanted to marry children because they were easier to control, easier to dictate and tell them what to do and to mold and to groom into what they wanted, to be obedient and submissive. And when you think of it in this context that Christine grew up in this cult, her dad is the son of Rulon Allred Rex. He is still in this group. And you realize that she never had the opportunity to date. She's been told her whole life that this is what she's supposed to believe. This is how she's supposed to act. She can't have an opinion. And then you realize how much having an opinion was her waking up and realizing that she wasn't happy. And the fact that she had an opinion was the downfall in their relationship, because to Kody, having an opinion was the kiss of death. You realize how naive she is to this day and how sheltered she's been her whole life. And she's super happy with her new boyfriend, David. She's been posting all these sweet messages to him, and, you know, he's been saying all of these wonderful things to her. And it's funny because one of David's neighbors contacted me, and they said, oh, David lives just right over the street. He is such a nice guy. He always has the best treats for Halloween. He's super friendly. Everyone loves him. I just want you to know that there's really nothing to worry about. This guy's the real deal. And I'm glad that she found someone that is the real deal. And I'm glad that she has found someone that is a good person. But I could see how it would be really easy after leaving a system like this to fall into another bad relationship, because there's no experience from the woman to even understand what a healthy relationship is, because that's not what they're taught. It's not how they're groomed. They're literally told from the time that they're children, their only mission on life is to breed a baby a year for their husbands so that they can make more spirit babies for heaven. They're a broodmare. That's it. That's all. So Gwendolyn calling him a coward, saying that she doesn't respect him, and also discussing, you know, her thoughts about how he treats her mom versus other people, as well as mocking him for keeping women around because they're his bitches. She doesn't mince words, so I kind of like what she has to say, and I hope in time the other women wake up. As much as we don't like Robyn, she's also part of the system, and while she's still under Kody's control, even though she has her own set of control, you have to think about, like, what an awful man to have to live with. He's a miserable human being. And I'm just glad to see some of his kids actually be honest instead of, like, playing into his narrative. So I'm glad that Gwendolyn continues to share her side of the story. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.